Hello, my Pisces friends. This is Kristen Redman, Astrological Intuitive, and today we are going to talk about what 2019 has in store for your sun sign. Now, what an interesting couple of years we've had, right? We've had so much happening in terms of surrendering parts of ourselves and what we've known, letting go and moving forward. And 2019 is really a year of building solid ground under our feet from the things we've had to cut loose, whether it's ideas or beliefs or people or relationships or jobs. There's so much we've been pushed to purge, and this is a year of regeneration as a result. Now, for you, Pisces, the main focus of this year is really going to be career and what you're doing there and that work-life balance that happens as a result. There's going to be a lot of that comes up this year as a theme. Yes, definitely. And another one, too, which is interesting that I haven't seen in the other signs, is that there's going to be a lot of reassessment in the friends and networks and organizations that you surround yourself with, giving less time to them so you can have more time for yourself, because that's very vital and very needed for you in this year, because it's kind of going to be a year where you dial back and focus inward more as opposed to dealing with everybody else. It's a year to give back to you. So, woo-woo. Yay for you, right? So let's get into it. Let's go into some other things. So let's start with money. And this year, you are starting out your new year with your mind on your money, money on your mind, right? Because we've got Mars. I love this. I love this for all of us. Mars is the planet that makes things go. It's the engine that rocks and rolls. And our engine has been stalled the past couple of years because of its retrograde phases. Puppy finally got rocking and rolling. Now it's moving again. And it's back to its home sign of Aries. And that starts today on New Year's. It's come home. So I love that we are all starting out the new year with the planet that pushes new beginnings back in its home sign where it operates at its absolute highest vibration. It is pushing all of us to get moving and quick. And where it's pushing you to get moving and changing things and bringing some new energy in is in your house of money and finances. That's all the second house has to deal with. Now, it hasn't been there for 2 years. So you're going to find that you have a major push to really shift things up and change things that you initially started back at the beginning of 2017. Debt repayment plan, maybe you're thinking about doing a new job. There's a lot of energy behind you, and we'll get to that in a minute in terms of career to get that. But this also gives you the confidence from January 1st to February 14th. So this is easy to remember, from New Year's Day until Valentine's Day. You have that confidence to stand up for yourself and say, you know what, I deserve this raise. You know what, y'all aren't doing what you need to help me here, and I'm going to move on. Okay, Mars gives us that ability to really act before we think and to speak before we go. That's why a lot of Aries are very blunt, because they're ruled by that planet that's pure fire and wants us to just do what's best for you. So it's awesome to start out the new year with that in your planet of finances or your house of finances, saying, I'm doing what's best for me. I'm blazing everything in my path that gets in the way too. So that's a great start. Now let's move on to home and family. Now for you, all I have written is literally one thing. There was a lot of energy from everything that I was reading and looking into that really this is a year where there is a push to perhaps move. And if that happens, that's going to be March 31st to April. What in the world am I saying? To May 6th. There is some energetic energy moving through there where that Mars that's going to be triggering your house of finances is going to be moving into the house of home and family, really pushing you to want to get out. Now, it may be because you've legitimately outgrown that area. I know one Pisces that has that happening right now. This may be the year where it really does happen, okay? And Mars is going to give you that ability to push through and stand up and say, I need to get this done, stat. So definitely a year where that is happening. Hasn't been there for 2 years. So if that's something you recognized and realized in 2017, we don't have enough space. The family situation in itself isn't working. Maybe you tried to start initiating something new with your children and your family and they're not listening and you're ready to make it work. This is the push that's going to happen in the springtime to get that going. Now, let's talk about relationships. Love let's go on to that now. So this is interesting because Mars is just doing all sorts of numbers. I think Mars coming through and firing up your watery empathic side is a good thing, right? Because you always give so much and think of others first. Mars coming through is just like a whole big ball of selfishness. And that sounded really crappy the way I just said it, but you need that, right? This is a year where they're asking you to think about what's best for you. And that plays out in relationships too, because now Mars is going to be moving into your house of relationships in the fall. Okay, so it's doing a number on the finances, getting you pushed into that. Oh, my phone's ringing. Don't mind that. Oh! So then it moves on to family in the spring and home, and now it's moving into relationships. And it's really what it's pushing you to do, though, is to speak your truth in these relationships and say, you know what, I've been holding this back for too long. We got to talk about this. This isn't working for me. Because remember, it's about what works for you and what's best for you. Not only does that happen, but it also energizes, because that's what Mars does, man. It turns that engine on and it gets it going, and it's full of passion, and that will return as well, because it hasn't been there for a couple of years, into that house August 18th to October 4th when Mars goes through your relationship sector as well. But there's a lot in there about having to have honest communications with yourself and the other person, okay? Now, if it's something where you feel this relationship is ready to be let go, maybe it's something you don't want to re-energize the passion, you're like, hey, well, I've been trying that for a couple of years and it ain't working, and I get the hint here, I'm ready to do something better for me. Know that with Mars coming through, it's like a broom. It is. It will sweep away what is there, and it wants to bring something new in, and Mars is very good for that. So, just saying, if you're ready to let go, this would be the energy to bring in someone new. Well, let's move on to career, because that's a huge thing for Pisces this year. Career. You have a wonderful 12-year cycle that is happening now with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck and opportunity and expansion and hope and faith and generosity and wonderful things. This wonderful planet is like a guardian angel, and it's just full of good luck, and it loves to bestow it on us. And this year it wants to bestow it on your house of career. Okay. Not only that, but also your reputation too. It falls in that 10th house. So if you've had that dinged up a little bit over the past couple of years, Jupiter coming back is going to help to restore that. And the thing with it is, because it's such a lucky planet, things that you never would have expected to happen will happen in that area. And as it moves through that house of career, especially, this started November 8th of 2018, and it's going through until December 3rd of 2019. So you've got the whole year to really utilize this amazing good luck energy. You just have to have the faith that it's going to happen. That's the little side note to it. You have to have faith that it's going to come through, or it ain't going to come through. Total secret type thing, right? Go on Netflix and watch The Secret and think about your career, and you will manifest it and make it happen. I tell you what. So the thing is, with Jupiter, it's going to come through, clear away what doesn't work, bring in some new opportunities, receive what's right for you right now. Maybe you're happy at your job, but you just need more recognition. Jupiter brings that through too. And remember, this all connects with this energy that's bringing new financial energy as well. I think I said energy like 4 times there. It's very energetic, obviously. It connects with that. So if it's something where you finally get the recognition you deserve, you get the raise you deserve, you get the promotion you deserve as well. So that's some wonderful energy to have up in the 10th house. It hasn't been there for 12 years, okay? So this is a big cycle to utilize and take advantage of. If opportunities approach you, man, I tell you what, don't discount them. Listen to them, okay? Ooh, yes. Okay, so we also have some stuff happening this year where they're talking about your work-life balance, okay? That's a tidbit out of whack. I'll be honest with you here, okay? Given too much, right? You're the empathic Pisces, right? You are the super social worker of the zodiac. You always care for the underdog, and you are always giving to them. Okay, which means you're giving your energy away. All right, my empathic water sign friend. Mercury is going to be retrograding in your chart, in your sign this year, to really reassess how that empathic gene of yours is working and how much you want to give to others and how much you need to keep for yourself. I think the universe is going to knock you down a little bit to where you have to focus on yourself. There's going to be no way around it. Maybe it's an illness that you get, you're sick, you got the flu, I don't know, right? There's a million things that could happen. But the universe is going to make it so you have to focus on you and yourself and putting your energy into yourself. So this is going to be a year where you're working on setting limits and boundaries with other people around you so you can avoid burnout, especially at work, okay? I am not bringing this home. I am keeping this here. I am only doing this. Like, this is going to be a year where that really comes into focus. The Mercury retrograde periods are really going to have a major impact on that. Let's get out my list here. That is March 5th to March 28th. If your birthday falls in there too, pay attention. July 7th through July 31st. And again, October 31st through November 20th. Those are going to be the time frames where it really makes you reassess how and what you're giving away. Setting those limits are huge. Especially January, June, and September. I think those are the time frames when the universe is going to be like knocking you down. So you're focusing on how much those boundaries are and where they're set. So main thing they're saying is adjust your schedule and your commitments and your boundaries to really work with that and with others. Speaking of those friends, okay, so there's like some riffraff up in your life. That sounded really ominous. I'm sorry. So, like, okay, so those energy vampires and such, they come from organizations and friends that take too much and don't necessarily give back to you. Those are going to be one of the ones that are the main boundary setters. So you can take that energy and put it into yourself because you need it, because you're running on empty, Now, with this energy, Saturn has been going through this 11th house of friends and networks and organizations, and that started last year and that continues until 2020, and it's trying to really set some rules and boundaries on those areas. Okay, critical renovations in the house of friends and networks. You see the true colors of the people that you have surrounded yourself with over the past several years, and you realize who works for you and who doesn't anymore. So here you go. You got Saturn, which is the planet of those boundaries, but it's also like quality control coming through and being like, you don't fulfill, you don't work for me. And that's okay. And that's okay, because when you do that, you're setting these boundaries for what type of people you will allow, and then that will automatically bring them in. So pay attention to the eclipses that happen too, because eclipses bring new energy, new beginnings, new opportunities. And the eclipse cycles this year are in Capricorn and Cancer, which directly impact this house as well. So pay attention in January, July, and December. That's January 6th, July 17th. And December 26th. These are billboards from the universe that say this doesn't work anymore. You need to change this. You need to shift this. They're going to let you know where those boundaries need to be set in this time frame as well. So definitely the universe is speaking to you to get the right type of support for people that grow you. And not only that, when you let go of the energy of people that are taking more than they're giving, these eclipses are working with what's known as the South Node, North Node out there in the universe. These are polarities that deal directly with our past life and karmic plans coming into this lifetime, things that we want to fix and rectify. So to have these eclipses that bring new beginnings attached to this, it indicates that if you're letting go of something, it's bringing in somebody that's meant to come in and help you at this point in your life. They're karmic. They're a karmic friendship. You know karmic friendships, the ones that you're like, I don't know, where you've been all my life. I need you. That's the type of energy that comes in, whether it's friendship or professional networks that come through. It's very karmic as well. So just listen to what happens in those times of the eclipses that I just mentioned. Okay, so now we're going to get into specific birthdays. If your birthday doesn't fall in here, it doesn't mean that none of this stuff doesn't apply to you. These are just more dialed in for certain ones, certain aspects that are happening for people that are born within this time frame. Now, one thing I got to say is that your birth chart is going to be different. It's more tiled into you and what this year is going to bring for you specifically. I highly recommend you getting a reading, an astrological reading, to see what is specific for you in your chart. Of course, I do that. I'm a professional astrologer. I do a $77 special every year. It's like the one special I do every year, really, to start out the year on a good note and know what's coming. I have the link below for that. If you want to dial in a little bit more and understand what the world of astrology can teach you about yourself and your life and your path, it's amazing. It amazes me all the time with the clients that I see and what it triggers in them. But in general, overall blanket statements, if your birthday is February 18th through the 25th, Uranus out there in the sky is going to be working with your sun. Now, Uranus is the planet that brings things through unexpectedly. So kind of a year to expect the unexpected for you. One of the things that's unexpected is that push to just do what's best for you, because that's what Uranus cares about, is just you and what you need. So definitely you're speaking the truth and getting your needs met for sure. And that's okay, yo, because it's working harmoniously, not badly. So you stand up for yourself, okay? Now, for those with a birthday March 5th to the 9th, Neptune, which is your ruling planet, is going to be aligned with your sun. This happens once in a lifetime. Legit, yo. One time in your life, because Neptune moves so slow. Now, when it aligns with your sun in your birth chart, it's going to feel like the fog's rolling in. I will not lie to you. It's going to feel very overwhelming for you. But ultimately what it's doing is it's filling you and regenerating you, and especially connecting you with your spirit. Because you, my friend, are the most spiritual and the most wise of the karmic ways of the world and past lives than any other sign. So having your home planet returning is helping remind you of what your soul has done in previous lifetimes and what it wants to do moving forward in this lifetime. So pay attention to your dreams, waking and sleeping, and know that your intuition is working with you extra strong to make sure that you're letting go and surrendering of those things that don't work for you, like we said, and taking time especially for you. This is going to be the year of you and putting back into you. All that stuff I talked about, letting go of the riffraff, applies especially for you. Now, if your birthday is March 9th through the 12th, what another huge pivotal year. Okay, 2019 is a year ripe with opportunities for you, especially in career, but especially for you to transform. This is the proverbial caterpillar to a butterfly year. You are saying, let's go within, that all that stuff where I was saying that you're putting the energy back into you as opposed to other people. That's the cocoon phase, right? And then what transforms is the new you, Pisces 2.0. Right? I mean, that's pretty awesome. There's some great energy out there to do that. All right. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please reach out to me to find out how your chart is specifically affected. I also do card readings with them as well to get additional insights. It's a wonderful experience. I highly advise it. But also please subscribe to my channel here. I do weekly videos on what the skies are doing out there and what they're doing to affect us all. And also follow me on Facebook to get weekly updates and astrological insights and tidbits and random things as well. I would love to have you there, and I'm very grateful that you visited today. I wish you a prosperous and wonderful new year. Thank you so much. Bye.